front back, oh, in the front back, oh, in the front back, in the front back, oh, in the front back, oh, in the front back, in the front back, oh, in the front back, oh. And you got yourself a table with the front back, oh, the front back, the front back, and you got the front back, a table with the front back, oh, the front back, oh, the front back, and you got the front back. Stop. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the official horse racing podcast. A podcast that I need to change some things about. It's all a lonesome road, drifting forward to no one knows, and let it be the peace that offers the keeps. The cult shall be forever. What do you mean dropped frames over the last 2 minutes ago? I'm not even doing jack diddly. What do you mean by dropped frames? What do you mean by dropped frames? It could be anything, but instead you're talking about dropped frames. 2 minutes ago. Thanks, phone. I could be talking about anything, but here I am, talking about wrestling. Wrestling I don't keep up with. I want to talk about things I do keep up with. This is called the official horse racing podcast, not the official rest hold podcast. We're out and about talking about wrestling. I don't even want to talk about wrestling. Here we are. Same situations over and over. Oh, let's make predictions. No. You know what? No. Absolutely not. I'm friggin' putting my foot down. This is the official horse racing podcast. No wrestling all the time. None of that. Complaining about, this business. This COO of Vice operating offices. Flippy, break your neck. You know what? Let's take time. Why am I losing frames? I'm not even playing a friggin' game. Not. Okay, SummerSlam. Let's just get that over with, because that's up there. According to this Wikipedia page, it's Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza, McIntyre versus Randy Orton, Apollo Creed versus MVP, Dominic Mysterio versus Seth Rollins in a street fight, Sasha Banks versus Asuka, Bayley versus Asuka, Braun Strowman versus The Fiend, Mandy Rose versus Sonya Deville. Okay, let's go, Street Profits, McIntyre, MVP, Dominic, Asuka, Braun Strowman, and I literally don't know who either of these two are. It's a loser's leaves. Let's go with Sonya Deville. Let's say that she leaves. And there you have it. There's my quick thoughts on friggin' SummerSlam. I don't need to explain anything. I don't keep up with wrestling. I hate the fact that Sasha Banks and Bayley are double tag champs, but that's That's going to be what the podcast is going to be about. I'd rather have Asuka as the double champion because it looks like, she'll defend both titles. If she's going to have 2 matches in a single night, that just brings me hope. But enough about that. Let me tell you about the wonderful world of Harry Potter. Yeah, I don't think I was that interested in Harry Potter growing up, but it sort of became like a family interest when the movies were coming out, and it's like, hey, baby boy, you wanna go see this new Harry Potter movie with friggin' Professor Snape? And then I'm all like, oh, but it's scary, spiders and stuff, oh no. And the Harry Potter movies ended before I even became a freshman in high school. Keep that in mind. So here's like a movie about, giant troll. Hello. Giant troll in the friggin' women's bathroom. A giant snake in the women's bathroom. A giant unicorn, Pegasus, friggin' about to be executed. But time is a friggin' myth. Go back in time an hour. Then no one cares. What happened in the 4th movie? Tournament arc. It's the friggin' tournament arc. 5th movie... wait, what was the 5th movie? Was the 5th movie The Goblet of Fire? It was Sorcerer's Stone, The Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban, Goblet of Fire. I can't even remember the next movies. I can't remember the 5th movie, but I know the 6th movie was The Half-Blood Prince. Mystery book about some guy who knows how to deal with the friggin' the dark ones. Why am I losing frames? Why am I losing frames? You friggin' Avada Kedavra that. Wait a minute, which one was Dobby in? Dobby was in the Chamber of Secrets. And then he appeared in the last movie and he's like, Harry Potter, you have freed me. I am going to sacrifice. Some of them I haven't seen, especially the last 2. Oh, let me get to the last 2. Alexa, which one was the 5th Harry Potter movie?
Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Did that answer your question?
Yes, except I don't remember what happened in the Order of the Phoenix.
Thanks for your feedback.
Yeah, Order of the Phoenix was probably the most forgettable movie. Because it's like, Harry finds out he's a wizard. Oh, Harry goes to the girls' bathroom. Harry has an uncle. He lives in Azkaban. And also there's this cool scene with a time watch. Friggin' Timmy Turner making a wish for the magic redo watch. 4th movie was the tournament arc. That's something you can't forget. He was like, I'm too young for the tournament, but the Goblet of Fire selects his name. And I think it turned out that, or was it in The Prisoner of Azkaban where Ron's rat was a teacher or something? So, I totally forgot. Anyway, Deathly Hallows. I was in friggin' going into high school when Deathly Hallows comes out. And I was doing this play. It was a musical. I was a background character. I'm not sure if you heard of it. It's called Annie. So anyway, I was like busy with Annie and stuff. And my mom and my brother, they were like, hey, you want to go see the final movie in the Harry Potter saga? Boy, would I, but I'm kind of busy with the play at the moment. Can we do this on the weekend? They're like, sure. And they friggin' go with my friggin' sister-in-law. Which, by that moment, I kind of had a disdain for her, my sister-in-law. I won't get into any more details, but let it be known that growing up, I had a strong disdain for my sister-in-law, and I kind of, as an adult, I feel like she's one of them Karens you hear about on the internet. You know, like she says something random, like, "Oh, did my baby boy? Did you pinch your scrotum?" Who says scrotum that naturally? Talking to a friggin' child. Anyway, never watched the final movie. Never have. And I got a notification. What's my notification? Okay. I never watched the final movie out of pure spite and pure uninterest for the Harry Potter franchise. You know what did interest me about Harry Potter? The video games. I grew up with the PlayStation 1 of Harry Potter and the Chamber of... No, wait, not the Chamber of Secrets. Sorcerer's Stone. I say grew up. I don't think I knew how to save on that game, and I ended up playing the beginning multiple times. Mostly getting Harry Potter to essentially kill himself by jumping into the fire multiple times. I'm not sure what was wrong with me, but I enjoyed watching Harry Potter die in the first game, in the first area of the first game, to a friggin' candle fire. And of course there were other games, but honestly, not even I've touched them. I think there was an app that I signed up to recently. I think there's like, the friggin' Gryffindor's bravery. Slytherin is the artsy ones. And the other two are normal people. So if you think you're in Gryffindor or Slytherin, you're friggin' wrong about yourself. And here I am thinking that I'm part of Hufflepuff. And then I take this quiz on this friggin' app and it's like, hey, Gryffindor. I'm all like, bruh, I'm a friggin' Hufflepuff. You cannot just put me into this position of power where I'm friggin' Harry Potter all up in this. Harry Potter video games interest me, but I never got a chance to play a lot of them outside of, as I said, PlayStation 1, Sorcerer's Stone. And there was this one Lego Harry Potter, not the Lego Harry Potter that you're thinking about, the ones where it's like, oh, you go on an adventure. No, this one was more like a construction, like a, build Lego Harry Potter sets. Then you get to go into some buildings, play some mini games, but it wasn't like a story-focused Lego Harry Potter. In fact, I think it may have come out before the 4th or 5th movie. Maybe when the first 2 movies came out. It's sort of hard to remember things. Mostly because I remember that I played Croc 2 on the computer, and I can't find a copy of that copy of Croc 2 existing in my house. I found friggin' remarkable gems like this right here, Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. Of course, I bought that on Steam, so complete waste. Didn't think I'd actually find it. It's probably an old disc anyway. Croc 2, that was just like when I was like 3 or 4 that I played that, and I barely remember it. I remember like I remember just enjoying doing the levels. I like the style and the feel, which kind of led me into going into Crash Bandicoot. It's all a bit nonsensical, this stream going. This podcast. This is the official horse racing podcast, where my goal is to throw a curveball at you every time you think you understand what's going on. But you don't. But you do. You probably do. I'm probably the biggest open book in this entire business. And I play it off like I'm not. What was I talking about? Spider-Man. Now let me tell you, Spider-Man games... I have Spider-Man for the GameCube, and that's about it. I'm really not that big of a... I think around that time, I was not interested... Around that time, I was not interested in movie tie-in video games. But I so desperately wanted movie tie-in video games. I got, like, friggin' Ice Age 3 for the Nintendo Wii. Honestly, it wasn't bad. Though it lacked replay value. Though I did confuse it for the actual Ice Age 3 DVD, because the Ice Age 3 DVD comes in a white DVD case, and guess what else comes into a white DVD case? You guessed it, Wii games! So I'm like, hey, happy birthday, oh, it's Ice Age 3! But I already have this. Wait, it's the DVD for Ice Age 3? Oh, I thought I already had this. But no, that's a DVD of the Wii game of Ice Age 3. And then, of course, there was the Wii version of Iron Man, which honestly was kind of boring. It was like, hey, play this invincible being, do missions. It didn't feel like I could lose. I just don't like games where you can't lose. Like I said before, Harry Potter, at the start of the Sorcerer's Stone game, I try to kill myself in the friggin' candle fire at the entrance area. Albus Dumbledore's like, I am Albus Dumbledore. Wait, what are you doing? Stop doing that. Then your friggin' life meter goes down, and then you wake up in the nursery, and I so got disappointed that it didn't end in a bad ending, and it's just like, oh, Harry Potter got into the nurse's office. Oh, he should be more careful next time. Finger wag, finger wag. Spyro games. I got the complete collection probably before I could even remember anything about the PlayStation 1. I remember playing Tekken on it, but eventually Tekken broke. It was kind of fun. I was able to get like a one of them it's pirated copies. But listen, I have the physical copy of Tekken 2. It just doesn't work, and you can't really find a solution to make discs work when they're already scratched up. They can't play. So you're left with friggin' pirating the game to play a game you own, but you can't play because the disc is scratched up, and you don't get that full experience that you paid for at the beginning of its lifespan. And this is why we need to pirate games. Not new games, old games. We need to bring back the data that we so desire. Give me my friggin' pirated... Wait, I can fix that? Thought I tried everything. Huh. Really? This puts me into a thinking space. Also, behind my computer, I I've had 2 Wii games fixed. Did you have them fixed or did you replace them? Speaking of fixed games, you know what was the most weirdest experience? Like a game that I was given, not broken, but kept crashing. It was a little game called Sonic Heroes, and it kept on crashing at like the friggin' final scene. Actually, no, I'm not thinking of Sonic Heroes. Sonic Heroes crashed like once. What kept crashing for me constantly was, well, yeah, an electronics shop, but how expensive would that fix be? Is what I'm saying. Fixes will be expensive. You just want the game you bought years ago to work. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. Speaking of movie tie-in games, what felt like a movie tie-in game but actually wasn't was the Legend of Spyro series. But I only played the last one because that was a co-op game, and it kept crashing in certain areas. And I was like, okay, I'll get a replacement. Yep, that one crashed. Got a replacement for that. Kept crashing. Okay, there's a pattern going on. Wait a minute. Let me just search this up. Shut up, dog. Okay, Legend of Spyro. I believe it was Dawn of the Dragon. Wii. Huh. 4 out of 5? It can't be. Oh, no, wait, Metacritic. Metacritic. 64 critic score, 7.0 user score. Huh. Oh wait, people hate most of it because of the gameplay being generic. I didn't mind the gameplay. It gave me what most Spyro fans wanted. Friggin' being able to fly all the time as Spyro. Oh well. You know, that reminds me. I have the Spyro Reignited trilogy. And I did start a series on that. I honestly should get back to that. Especially with the new Chump bot. It only gives notifications when a video comes out. This friggin' video took me so long. An hour for a friggin' minute. And you go up here and you go over there. Working guaranteed, so they fix that one for free. What was I doing? I think I was going into... Was I? Going into... Oh no, I've lost my train of thought. So you may notice that I don't exactly play a lot of PvP or get interested in PvP-esque games. And I think it started, funnily enough, in Super Smash Brothers. Specifically Brawl. My brother-in-law had the game for his Wii, and this was around the time where I didn't have a Wii to play with, and especially I didn't have the game, so it was his. It was always his. And we'd come over and we'd play it a couple times, and I think I got to trash talky, and my sister didn't want to play video games with me, and that may have sparked my disinterest in playing against other people. Now you may say, "Oh, but Mr. Chumpman, don't you play and enjoy Fall Guys? Isn't that PvP?" Technically, it's player versus environment with other people playing with you. Now, let me keep this short and brief. You may say I got that game, but I didn't want to. There was no reason to put ultra low latency on this stream. Well, I could have. Well, there was no reason for me not to put ultra low latency since I'm not playing a game. But that's the exact same argument. Oh no. Now let me tell you something interesting. When I was in middle school, in 8th grade, 2011, was when the rebooted Thundercats came out. And let me tell you, I can barely remember what it was about. As a kid, my experiences. I think I found it too early in the morning or on too late at night, or I just never got around to watching it as a kid as often as I should have. Or maybe it's just the fact that we're in a day and age where everything is given to you all at once. You binge it, you do it, and with the whole, oh, watch the new episode next week feel, that just doesn't feel right. It felt so boring. And now that it's on Hulu, I'm like, wow, this show's better than I remember. Mostly because I can watch them all in one place. Hulu. A place where dreams come true. And it's also the place where you can watch, I don't know, the Animaniacs. Wait a minute. Freakazoid. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Freakazoid. What else is there to talk about? I already gave my friggin' predictions. I kinda want to bash my head in with a pistol. Yeah, I don't have Netflix. Let's see. Yeah. 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 Brain, stop going silent on me. No, stop remembering things that you don't want to remember. I don't want to remember much about school. You know, being someone who grew up with theater, they tell you a lot that if you aren't feeling nervous, then there's something wrong. I feel like there's something wrong if you are not able to be cool with someone being calm. I pride myself on being calm in what most people would think would be stressful situations. I have that sort of presence about myself, especially with the whole decade or so of theater. You play with... You do things in front of a live studio audience. A lot of times you just sort of don't feel embarrassed about saying anything. Unless, I don't know, you're friggin'... You're giving a speech on how you should be president and all the money should go to you. No, but you can always pull that off as like some sort of ironic joke satire thing. But what can't you pull off as some ironic joke satire thing? Maybe do what the HILLTER did. I don't think I spelled it right, but the people at home gets the gist. getting the AUTTCHWICZ top. ZZ Top. Now, listen, Guitar Hero. My brother had Guitar Hero for the Xbox 360. It was like Guitar Hero 2, and I was always like, well, Guitar Hero 2. And that got me interested in one of my favorite, I guess, albums. Because to call the band my favorite is a bit of a stretch. There are several musicians, but they just made this one amazing album. Shut up, dog. But anyway, yeah, The Black Parade is the best album in the world. All the songs on there are amazing. Except for Blood, because Blood is a hidden track. And so you have to listen to 2 minutes of dead air until the song plays. The album's all like, oh, a bit of this, bit of that. Oh, Papa Pizza in the oven. Oh, woof woof. Pay no attention to the friggin' dog that wants to go OUTTSIDE. What was I getting at? Oh, yeah. Music reviewers. Why do they exist? I mean, movie and TV show reviewers, they have to go through hours of content. Music reviewers can go like one song at a time, and that's like maybe less than an hour. Maybe even... Songs aren't that long is what I'm trying to say, so why should people listen to music reviewers and all? I don't get why a certain someone is popular for music reviews when I know him for certain meme reviews. What was I getting at? Games. I believe I was talking about Croc 2 on the PC. Figured out, oh, this is the game that I like. Got me into Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, but it's not on Steam. I can't find it anywhere else, and if I do find it anywhere else, it's probably sketchy. It's very sketchy. Or it's not the right game. But what about food reviews? It may take only a couple of minutes to listen to music, but what about food reviews? Well, food, you can't just eat anytime you please. That's not how the body works. You have to be hungry. You can't be full. There are limitations to eating food. But yeah, I think I'd make a good food review. Well, actually, I wouldn't. My tastes are... I'd try to eat the most bizarre things that no one else would eat. One time, I did a eating challenge at, I believe, a Jimmy John's. Is Jimmy John's one of those universal places, or is that a local place? I feel like it's universal. Hold on, let me just look it up. Papa John's is universal, so why can't Jimmy John's? That's the first thing. Champaign, Illinois. But that doesn't answer my question. How far and how wide is Jimmy John's friggin' spread? Friggin' Chicago, Illinois doesn't tell me anything. Jimmy John's, USA. Where is Jimmy John's? Jimmy John's was founded in 1983 by Jimmy John Leotard in the college town of Charleston, Illinois. As a means of survival, Jimmy began hand-delivering tasty sandwiches to students of Eastern Illinois University. And from there grew a business, now over 2,800 locations in 43 states across the U.S. So, yeah, Jimmy John's, I guess, is sort of that. It's a big business, but not, like, super big. Yeah, Jimmy John's had, like, a big boy sandwich that had, like, a bajillion meat. And it's like, okay, eat this ginormous sandwich in less than an hour, and you get it for free. And I'm all like, wow, this is easy peasy. Got through the first half with time to spare. And then the food decided, you know what? It didn't want to stay down in my esophagus. And so, I don't need to explain what happened. It wasn't no projectile vomiting. It was more like the food that I chewed decided, instead of going into my stomach hole, it would go back up my throat hole and onto the tray. I could have eaten it again, but at that point I had given up. Like, I feel like vomiting is a source of disqualification. I wish I had a drink that wasn't water so that so you could get some flavor, but I don't think that they allowed it, or my brother didn't want to pay for a drink. Lemonade or friggin' Powerade or whatever would have done some real good on that sandwich. Like, you get to eat like 40 pounds of white bread. It tastes the same. You don't even have any condiments to freshen that stuff up. That was the main problem. No condiments, no mustard, no ketchup. I friggin' wanted that baby doused in the good old-fashioned Subway sauce favorite, Chipotle Southwest. Chipotle Southwest sauce is amazing. It's always been amazing. Always. And if you say otherwise, not only are you wrong, but you have a bad taste. And in the end, my brother paid for the $80 million that sandwich cost. It's not actually $80 million, but I think that the point stands that it was a lot of money. I could have had my face on the Jimmy John's wall at the ripe young age of still in high school. Was I still in high school? Yeah, it was before I went to spent my last summer vacation with the boys, where I also mentioned that story in an eating establishment, which was not the smartest thing to do. But the way I see it, throwing up because you're sick and throwing up because the food that you chewed could not go down your throat and decided to just will itself back up. No stomach bile, all chewed food. That's essentially just someone chewing their food and spitting it back out versus the interior of their stomach just plopping right onto the tray, onto the everything, onto the whatsits and the dutsits and the dootsits. You know, most people don't like it when they put pineapple on pizza. And I'm all like, pineapple on pizza exists because they put ham on pizza. Hawaiian pizza is a thing. You don't just put only pineapples on your pizza. You gotta put pineapple and ham. It's called mixing the flavors. Ham is sweet. Pineapple is sweet. I also have to ask, pineapple on pizza? Well, how about apple not in pie? Or pumpkin not in pie? Fruit pie is disgusting. I bet I got you there. I got you into a work. I worked you into a shoot. I shot you into the moon, out of the gullet, and into the frying pan. But really, the only good pie is blueberry pie. Actually, the only true good pie is the chocolate Oreo pie. No, that's the perfect pie. Of course, there's chicken pot pie, that delicious turkey gravy all spiraled up, and then you get that crust in. It's like you're having yourself a friggin' BLT, and instead of it being bacon, lettuce, and tomato, it's gravy, turkey, and even more gravy. If you were expecting an actual B and an L and a T, I cannot think of any other things that would be Thanksgiving related. But yeah, blueberry pie is good, cherry pie is good, and then it stops there. Apple pie tastes awful, and by taste awful I mean it looks awful and I don't want to try it. So does pumpkin pie. Pumpkin pie looks awful, but I haven't tried it. You can't say fruit pie sucks if you like apple pie. I don't like apple pie. I don't think I do like apple pie. But I think the point still stands. Pineapple on pizza is okay. That was the whole point of the argument. The only good type of pie, the absolute perfect pie is chocolate pudding pie. Oreo chocolate pudding. Absolutely delicious. It's getting my sweet tooth going on. Not like Sweet Tooth from the great series of Twisted Metal. Hey, I grew up with that game. Oh, yeah, so did I. Oh. It was mostly Twisted Metal 2. World Tour. Wasn't really good at the game without cheating. Mostly just played on co-op. Co-op was fun. I always liked co-op games, but my family just didn't want to play with me, or too busy doing this or that. And I'm all like, well, fine. And then I go into the internet, and even then the internet's all like, oh, you're cool and all, but I don't think we're quite friends. Or I just don't feel like bothering people. Bothering people is kind of one of the biggest worries of my life. Oh, am I a bother? I shouldn't ask him. And that's mostly the problem when you grow up wanting to play games with other people, but they're too busy. They have their own lives. You worry about other people when you want to play with them. Then play with them. Then play with them. Then play with them. Ah. And when you do meet the person who's like wants to play with you, they freaking ghost you for over a year. And then the thing, and the next thing you know, they're freaking dead. Or maybe not. I honestly don't know anymore. We live in a world where we have all the internet we need, but we don't have all the information we want. The world's on fire, and I'm roasting marshmallows. Everyone else is screaming. Here's the thing. Roasting marshmallows gave me the idea for an absolute abomination of a dessert. I call it the Diabetes Anderson. Why? Because I think the Diabetes Anderson sounds like an awesome name to give a dessert. So anyway, what you do is you take your microwavable bowl, put chocolate chips at the bottom, and then you put in like a big boy marshmallow. You don't put in one normal marshmallow. You don't put in two normal marshmallows, and then it's just sort of crowds up the place. You get the big boy mushroom, all in one circumference-like cylinder. You put it down there. You get that half a Hershey's chocolate bar. You put it on top of the marshmallow. And then you put that bowl into... Oh, you don't put the graham crackers in as well. You put it in the microwave for 30 seconds. The friggin' jumbo marshmallow expands, the chocolate melts, and it comes out of the chocolate. It comes out of the microwave with the beep, beep, beep. But the Diabetes Anderson ain't finished yet. You gotta get yourself 4 squares of graham crackers, but 2 graham crackers. You split them up, you push them down, you get yourself a hearty spoon, and you stir it up, and you mix it up. You got to get that action. What you don't want to do is think, graham crackers and milk go together. What if I add milk? Don't add milk. Never add milk to the Diabetes Anderson. What you want to do instead, you want to add some of that whipped creamy goodness known as whipped cream. And then you just put like a friggin' dollop right into the middle when you're done stirring. And there you have it. You got yourself the Diabetes Anderson. Warning, the Diabetes Anderson is merely just a name. It has no relation to any real person. The name Anderson is cool, and if you mix it with the phrase diabetes, you become a legend. You become the Legend 27. Dead meme. Dead meme. Speaking of memes, I've always wanted to talk about my top 10 favorite words, but a certain word has come up, and I'm pretty sure it's a slang for an Australian slang. It's a slang for sausages. It's glizzy, and I'm all like, speak freaking English. A grizzly bear? I'm not friggin' cooking up bear meat. It's a friggin' hot dog. Use English words like bratwurst or sausage or a hot dog or a not dog. Don't friggin' make up your lame slang. Oh, it's a glizzy, mate. And I'm all like, well, you're a chump, mate. I'm gonna punch you right in your throat hole. Metaphorically speaking. Hot dogs. Can't live with them, can't live without them. You go with the hot dogs, you put in the pickles and onions, get yourself some honey mustard, and then you put it in your mouth hole for some sweet, delicious goodness. But because friggin' pickles and onions aren't exactly condiments, you put them inside the bun, below the hot dog, and then you put in the mustard. And then the friggin' pickles and onions won't go everywhere when you try to eat it open taco style, like a hard shell taco. And then it tastes all amazing. It's all contained in one special place. Peas and mashed potatoes? I didn't get that until someone friggin' put pretzels in my mashed potatoes. That I don't want something hard and something soft. Friggin' children are chumps. Broccoli can taste good. So can asparagus. And celery tastes weird. Celery tastes weird. And honestly, there's not much you can do about celery tasting weird. I always thought that I hated celery, and then I grew up and I just realized I don't hate celery. I hate bananas. I've always hated bananas. Bananas are the worst food. I may have been dissing apple and friggin' pumpkin pie, but there's at least a substance in there that won't make me gag. And I always thought that I hated cheesecake because cheese and cake don't sound like things that go together. They do. They go together. They taste amazing. But you know what doesn't taste amazing? Bananas. And you may be wondering, but you say bananas all the time. In fact, there's a banana emoji on the friggin' Discord server. Well, Discord server. No, there isn't. Second, banana is a fun word to say, but not a fun food to eat. Third, go to heck. And, fourth, I don't need to explain myself to the likes of you. Okay, now where was I? I went on a food-related tangent. Diabetes Anderson. Don't try it at home. You're gonna rot your teeth. You're gonna get clinical diabetes. Uh, Steakums are a good food. I just wish that there wasn't this friggin' light coming out of. Oh! One of the blinds in my window thing is up and about. There. That's better. Just had to move a thing to the thing. Going into high school, I was writing like fantasy stories, but do I really have to talk about that? They had thought put into them, but they were just fan fictions of my own life. Had a dream about a girl, doesn't exist, put her into a book. Oh, wow. You're a Mary Sue. Yes, I was. But I feel like the personality... the personality in that book was a Mary Sue. It wasn't even the me that I am today. And I love the way that I am today. I've got a talk of the walk, the smock of the clock, the rhyming schemes to fit the dreams, and all the other things a means. What I'm trying to say is that personality, friggin' chumpo personality who wants to be a friggin' lay cringe gentleman straight off of Reddit, not straight off of 4chan like me. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you put yourself down in 5 easy steps. Call your past self a chump. Call him a Redditor. Call yourself better than him. And then call yourself a 4chan person. None of those have to be true. Because lying is a thing that anyone can do. You, me, you. That was a perfect time to say me, you. Darn it. Timing is a scheme of the dream that I always claim to theme on the name. What? Anyway, I've been rambling on for a good 53 minutes. That was actually kind of nice to just talk. To talk about things that aren't just plain wrestling all the time. To go into tangents about food, video games, music, television. Speaking of television, I was in a sort of strict family. I couldn't watch South Park. I couldn't watch Family Guy. Could watch Simpsons. But I mostly just stuck to cartoons. And when I got to 14, it's like, hey, you can watch real TV with us. And then that's how I got my mom addicted to Law and Order Special Victims Unit. And really wish I didn't, because SVU went downhill after Stabler was removed, and where the only remaining cast member is essentially Olivia Benson. Law and Order doesn't need to change characters. I call Law and Order SVU the type of show that needs new characters every season, needs to change up. It was fine the way it was. They should have just found an ending and stuck with it. But no, you gotta milk that modern day political views. Though, to be honest, I think it's mostly the past is more interesting than the present, which is why I don't like the newer episodes, because they feel too present day. And then I miss out on cartoons like friggin' Moo Moo Heroes of the Storm. I don't know what else. But there's a stigma of not liking cartoons. And I feel that the best TV show... I like mysteries. Psych, Monk, I've seen them all. I like those kinds of mysteries. I find Monk a bit cringe. I've always found him a bit cringe. And people say that cringe comedy, oh, that's a thing. And they show me friggin' business guy. He goes and creates meme dreams, creating not Starbucks. And I'm all like, bruh, this is awful. But it's hilarious that these are actual true stories. And that he got people on the news. But other than that, this is freaking cringe. I would not watch. Do I need to update the official horse racing podcast logo? Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe. No. I don't think I can without losing my mind and just putting horses everywhere. I got interviewed on Tuesday, and the position will be called out sometime soon, maybe next week. And if I get hired for that, oh God, if I get hired for that, I don't think I could handle living anymore. All my life, I've been putting myself low on the pedestal. It's like, okay, you'll probably get like a job stacking shelves at the supermarket, but that's okay. That's the kind of monotony you would like. And here's my brother coming in, and he's like, "Hey, you want to make big boy bucks for playing with numbers?" And I'm all like, "I love playing with numbers." So I study and I study and I study, and then I get an interview, and I'm like, I didn't want to get... I wasn't expecting an interview. I thought that I would be passed on. And they're like, wow, a guy with a theater degree also has a minor in math. This is very interesting indeed. Oh, God, why did they... I swear if I get hired... Please, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so that I don't need to jump from being a no one without a job, getting out of high school, to a someone who makes money with the hobby he has fun with, has a relaxing time with, doesn't stress out very much with, doesn't feel the need to stress out very much, stresses out on the minute but not the important. When he does stress out on the important, it's very minuscule, like, oh hey, OBS here, we're gonna tell you that frames are dropping despite the fact they haven't dropped in ages. Jobs, education. Let me tell you about science. Chemistry, don't ever take AP chemistry. Regular chemistry may seem like math for real life elements and stuff. AP chemistry is just I can't even describe it. It's not fun. It's not what you would expect. Biology was pretty cool, but I wasn't that interested in biology, so I honestly can't give my opinion on if you should take AP Biology. I took AP Physics, but I also took Physics, and those were essentially the same thing. Well, there was AP Calc, AP Physics A, and AP Physics B. I think I took the easier one. I didn't even have to take a science class that year. I just took it for the sake of being smart. Mistake. I should not have taken AP Chemistry. Don't ever let hubris get the best of you. You think you're on top of the world being the smartest kid in your family, and the next thing you know, bam, AP Chemistry. Bam. You are being interviewed for a job you do not think you are ready for at the moment. Bam. All your hopes and dreams dwindle out because you're unable to get a following more than 100,000 people. Man. Is it a work? Is it a shoot work? Is it a work shoot? Or is it a shoot work? I think it's a work. Wow, I've gone on for about an hour. For an hour. We're at an hour and a minute and 45 seconds. Though recording started, I started the stream that long ago. It's probably not as long as the stream goes because sometimes OBS is like, the beginning doesn't count because we were prepping for the Monster Mash. You know, I think there are times like these where I should go back to my creative side. Make something that'll interest people. Instead of making something that everyone else is doing, do what you feel like you should do. Shoot. Friggin' Mr. Talking Bass thing. Friggin' Mr. Back of my computer screen. Friggin' Mr. I need to recycle more. Okay. Shoot. Goats. And well, at least it could be heard. At least I think it could be heard. Well, It's not the same without the amp. I'll be right back. Well, actually, I'm still here, so. Shimmy. Shimmy was a boy. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. Rainy day. And smile with bone. Brain slipping away. This vision probably developed in this. It's not selling things. That. Okay, dokie. Let's get this train wreck a rolling, ladies and gentlemen. As we go from unplugged straight to being plugged. My finger. Man, it's like I can come up with something a little creative beat. A little creative beat. Oh, baby. Wait a minute, I already did that. I think I've done that before. I'm not that creative when it comes to music. I mostly just... I say that I play the bass, but I never learned how to play the bass. I just sort of played by ear. As someone who was a part of, like, the theater stuff, I do musical theaters as well. You'd often get people that say, oh, I can play by ear. And you feel like you know what they mean, but you don't know what they mean. And then here I am, figuring out what it means to exactly play by ear. Like knowing the note that. Knowing the exact note that you're playing. Or maybe that's just feeling the guitar. You're gonna feel the bass or the instrument. Or whatever. I'm not exactly sure. So anyway, once went to this high school party, again, theater related. Have I ever said that I'm a bit of a teetotaler? Though I'm pretty sure most people nowadays call it straight edge. I call it, you know, not putting something in my system. And most people say, "Oh, it's for snobbish people," and I'm snobbish in totally different ways. I don't give a darn what you do to your body. It's what I concern myself with. That's my problem. I think I'd care about smoking if I felt like I had an eating problem, or if I wanted to stop an eating problem, but I think that's too late to start smoking. Despite the fact that I'm not exactly that old. There is a certain body type where you're not exactly fit, but you're not fat, so you maintain that by smoking. What was I saying? But alcohol, that's the real problem that I worry about. You got all these things trapped in the mind, and you get like a drug or an alcohol, and then that clouds the mind. You do something you wouldn't normally do with these bare hands wanting to fight. I don't want that. I don't. That's why I don't drink. I want to. Because I hate myself. But I don't. Because I know I can do better for my position. That there will always be something to hope for, to long for. So you don't have those deep, dark, depressing feelings. Hey, I wonder what would happen if I played these two notes. So where was I? It was... I think I got something. It's like... my hand cannot reach that note. Anyway, I think I've gone on long enough. It's probably not what most people were expecting. This is the official horse racing podcast. I don't come up with people's expectation. I shatter people's expectation by going with the unexpected. I'd say that I'm the friggin' Ryan Johnson of subverting expectations, but I know how subverting expectations worked. It's called the M. Night Shyamalan of expectation. It's called having a twist, you sucker! No subversions, all twists. Get out of here. Get out of here. This has been the official horse racing podcast. I'm the insane man with the membrane problem. With me, as always, is no one, because, to be frank, I want to be alone. I want to be alone for a while. No one to speak to, no one to talk to, about the same talking points, the same everything. Everything's same. What else is there to talk about? You haven't gone to space? To Mars? To a different galaxy? To find life everywhere else? Anywhere else? That's just a dream. Eventually it'll be shattered. See ya.